the FBI is getting new technology to see through walls. It's amazing how they got all of this stuff, but nobody can seem to stop these secret societies and all of that. It seems like everything they come up with or create or whatever is just geared towards hunting down poor people and stuff like this, right? Or criminals and shit, like, or, you know what I'm saying, criminals in poor areas and shit. There's all kind of secret societies and shit going on with them human trafficking and all kind of shit. Y'all are coming up with shit to see through walls, but all you can do is catch people doing street shit and all that. You're catching petty criminals, petty crime criminals, rather than the actual problems, which is just insane. That's why we haven't actually straightened anything out, because they're going for they're not going for the puppeteers, they're going for the puppets, if you will. They're not going for the people pulling the strings behind all of this nonsense. They're constantly going for the people at the bottom being affected by the people at the top with the corruption. So anyway, let's go ahead and read this report and we can keep it moving. All right, so the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, is planning to acquire radar technology capable of detecting individuals through walls, whether they're moving, standing still, or lying down. This type of radar, which uses radio waves to identify the location of objects by detecting their reflections, has been explored for decades. However, Hugh Griffiths of University College London called recent field tests with the new system impressive, noting that engineers have now overcome many of the challenges involved in making such technology practical for real-world use. The FBI has not commented on its plans to purchase the system, known as the Detect Presence of Life radar, from Maxcentric Technologies. Details of the potential acquisition were outlined in an April 3rd notice in a United States government database. The company developed and tested the technology in collaboration with the United States Department of Homeland Security. So, all of that is nice and dandy, but my thing is, they come up with all of this stuff. The FBI has all this time on their hands to go after people. How are we still dealing with all of this corruption in the world? Is it because the FBI is potentially corrupt too? I don't know. But there's human trafficking going on. There's secret evil cults going on. And that shit is like not even just stuff you see on TV anymore. You see these people throwing up these hand gestures. I'm not going to do any of that right now. But they're all throwing up the same hand gestures, whether they're a politician, music artist, basketball player, etc., actor, celebrity, politician, like I say, whatever. There are people that are constantly doing the same symbolisms, hand-wise and all body language-wise, over and over and over, the same shit, as if they're representing a gang or representing, a group or something weird, or, you know what I'm saying, a group, or however you want to put it. It's gang banging. That's what we call it from the hood. When everybody throwing up the same hand gestures, and it's like letters and numbers, and you're doing all of that with your hands and shit. You're making signals and shit. You know what I'm saying? When you're real precise about the hand verbiage, if you will, that you're using, in the body language you're using, and everybody's on the same par with that. Everybody's on the same page with that, doing the same hand gestures. It could mean that they're in line with each other. Like I say, if you really pay close attention, you'll see it. Celebrities, rappers, athletes, politicians, they have hand gestures that they do repeatedly in common. Specific hand gestures where it's like they're throwing up some kind of signal or something. It's weird. You gotta do your own homework on that. If not, I guess you'll just have to take my word for it. But it's up to you to spook yourself out if you want to look at that. But I say all that to say, it's incredible how they come up with all this technology and shit where they can see through walls and do all of this. But there's all kinds of rumor and conspiracy theory about human trafficking and so on and so forth. And we can't solve any of that. But we got all this technology to catch petty criminals and shit.